Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, Central Michigan Stacker. I got a few things I want to go over with you today. I'm back to making videos, full-length videos for anybody who likes to watch them. I know I've got somewhere around 1,800 suspected viewers. Out of that, about 1,000 of you pay attention and watch the videos. So I'd like to get that number up a little bit if it's at all possible. A few more subscribers never hurts. But anyways, I just wanted to talk a little bit today about what everybody's saying about silver. They're talking about, oh, it's going to the moon. It's going well past 100. It could crash. You know, there's anything could happen. We're going back down. We could see 40. We could see, $30, $25 silver again. Get ready to back up the truck and load up. And some people say $72, $70, $65. That might be the floor from here on out. I'm not sure because, like everybody else, I don't have a crystal ball to look at or anything. But where we're at today is sitting at about $78, $79 an ounce. Now, when I started this journey collecting silver was... and I mean stacking it. I've collected for quite a few years. I mean, I think it was my 8th birthday. My grandma gave me a birthday card that she had taken some Scotch tape and taped in a Morgan and a peace dollar. A couple of Mercury dimes in there and stuff. And because she knew I was interested in coins, and that's what she gave me for my birthday. It was the thing that got me honestly started more deeply into coin collecting. The stacking part of it, just stacking silver, that really started for me about 2019. Okay, when that COVID was hitting. And I think for a lot of other people it may have, had something to do with it, with them stacking also, sitting around, not being able to leave your house. You're watching more TV, you're getting on YouTube, you're watching things, you're learning about stuff that you might not necessarily had a chance to ever talk about or learn about previous because of work or play or whatever you may have had going on. But yeah, I mean, in the beginning, I was paying $17.50 an ounce for silver when I started stacking. Okay, and I went back to the jewelry store and had my wife's wedding ring fixed, and told the people that were working there, I said, it was years ago already, but I came in here and I asked the lady, do you ever have anybody that brings in any gold or silver bars or rounds or anything like that you wouldn't necessarily put in your jewelry display? And she was like, well, let me go back in the safe. I'll take a look. The place was called Bits and Pieces, and it's in Clio, Michigan. But she came back out with a sandwich baggie that had somewhere around $300 and some worth of silver in it at $17.50 an ounce. Because when she sat it down and I started looking at it, I said, well, how much would it be? And she said, well, let me take a look at what spot price is. She looked it up, and it was at $17.50. And I said, so you want $17.50 for each individual ounce? That's what you're telling me? That's how much it's worth? Yep. And I told her I'll take it all. No questions asked, no stuttering, no stutter steps. I wanted all that silver for $17.50 per ounce, and I bought it. If you watch my channel, you'd already know that I got rid of that silver a couple years after that when the silver to gold ratio came down a little bit. I traded in a bunch of silver for an ounce of gold. Because, sometimes that's the plan. The silver to gold ratio right now, as we speak, is 50 some dollars, $56, $57, $58, something like that. And that's not bad, honestly, because I did it when it was closer to 80. However, I had all that cheap silver that I had gotten just before it started going up. So I traded that stuff in on an ounce of gold, and I did pretty good on that ounce, honestly. I ended up selling it a couple of years after that, and I made $300 or $400 on that sale. So I was happy with that. And you should be too. If you can make money, buying and selling silver or gold, well, you're not doing that bad then. You obviously have a knack, or you know what's going on in the world, to be able to make yourself a little bit of extra money, and that's all it is. As far as gold and silver is concerned, if you're buying, selling, trading it, it's a little extra side hustle. That's a real nice shilling right there, isn't it? That fucker's a beauty. And here's the thing. What I wanted to talk to you about, I went into my local gold and silver store near me, and I took in a bunch of constitutional. Okay, I took in a bunch of, or what they'll call junk silver. And it's 90% from the U.S. And he had no problem taking that in. Okay, here's a sweet salmon coin that I picked up almost a year ago. I believe it's from Ireland. It's got this harp on it. It says EIRE, Erie, 1940. So I believe it's an Ireland coin, but I use it for scratching off scratchy tickets. It's my lucky coin right there. That's what that one's for. But what I wanted to say about the foreign stuff, like that dime I just showed here, and quarters and half dollars and stuff like that. When I took my 90% in, he looked through all of it, and he threw that stuff out. He didn't want nothing to do with any of this foreign silver. He didn't want nothing to do with that. He didn't want anything to do with that. He didn't want nothing to do with this here. I mean, there was no question about it whatsoever to him. He didn't want to look up the percentage of silver in this stuff. He didn't want nothing to do with it. All they wanted to do was a quick sale. Give me the 90% that I know how much it weighs and I know how much it's worth. I don't want to deal with this stuff. So just so you guys know, be careful out there when you're putting silver in your stack as far as foreign and money goes. Whether it's sovereign money or not, be careful with it, because you don't want to stack too much of that stuff. And for the simple reason is, for the hassle that they gave me yesterday when I took that stuff in. Like I said, no hassle at all whatsoever with the 90% from the U.S. Wouldn't even take the foreign silver that I had. So if you've got foreign silver that you're looking to take back to your local gold and silver guys, make sure you call ahead of time and let them know that that's what you're bringing in, to see if they'll even want to accept it or not. Don't get your feelings hurt by going up in there and them saying, yeah, we're not interested in that stuff at this time. Because there is so much gold and silver being bought and sold right now because of the hype. It's not even funny. Now, I've always said I'm not doing this channel as a financial advisor or banker or anything like that. The only thing I've ever started stacking silver for was my own bank account. And I've told everyone that on this channel since I started. Okay, so every piece of silver that I've personally put away is for the future. Okay, it's not for right now. And as a matter of fact, before it got to $50 was my breaking point. I was like, when it hits 50, I'm done. It doesn't have to go any higher than that. That's its all-time high so far. I don't expect it to get any higher than that. Well, guess what? Here we are sitting, and it's hit it a couple times already, $80, and they're talking about it going even higher than that. So what's the ceiling on silver? What's it going to be? 100, 200, 300, 500, 1,000? At this point in time, no one knows. However, Trump did make it a strategic metal now, on top of it being used, for coins like the American Eagle and whatnot. I have a strange feeling like the mint is going to put a big slowdown on the American Eagles as well. Seeing how they're using the silver for so many different things. We're talking about electric cars. We're talking about batteries. We're talking about solar panels. We're talking about cell phones. Every single thing that silver goes into, they're trying to get a hold of this stuff, and they're trying to hang on to it at the price that it's at now because they know there's a deficiency of it. There's not enough of it out there, and they need more. So they're putting, mines into production. Billionaires are buying silver mines because they know they're going to need them in the future, the very near future. And so anybody that's put silver or gold in their portfolio or their stack has done the right thing as far as I'm concerned. You listened and you saw the writing on the wall and you did what you needed to do. And we're all in the same boat now. If that's what you did, I'm in there with you. These right here are 8 reals. That's what they're called. This is what the silver looked like before we went to the silver eagles that we have now. That started in 1986 in the U.S. Okay, these are English, Spanish, 8 real. They're all chop marked up. I wanted to go for a full tube of these, which would have been 20. And that's back when, silver was $30, $40 an ounce. Now that it's up to 80, I'm having a hard time being able to see myself collecting a full tube of these coins. So I believe this one was cleaned at some point in time with some type of cleaner, but it still weighs right. It still looks right. There's nothing on it that would make me suspicious of it being fake. It pings, so it's just got a little different color to it because I believe it was cleaned. But anyways, I took these into them also because, like I said, I don't think I'm going to be getting a full tube of them. So I took these beauties into Chris at the Gold Brokers in Waterford, Michigan. Now, these are a little more expensive coins. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. However, he asked me what I wanted for them. I told him I needed 100 apiece. He told me he'd give me 80, which I paid anywhere from, 70 to 100, 110 for these coins. There's my lucky number, 808. So I would not, or that's actually 806. I would not sell them to him for that price. I would need more. I told him $100 a piece, and that was a little too high for him. But he didn't give me any problem with all the 90% that I took in there. He was happy to take that in, and I needed a little bit to pay off a certain bill, so I took in some of that junk silver and got a good premium out of it. Honestly, they're paying 45 to 48 or 49 per face dollar. So the price is up there on silver, and it's a good time to cash a little bit of it in if you need to. If you don't need to, don't. I'm not saying you have to. You do with your silver what you want to if you've stacked it like you should have when it was low. Did you? I have no idea. But I hope some of you, listened to me in some of these videos and actually did their due diligence and went and got themselves some of this stuff right here, because it's going up in value every single day, every minute of every day. It just keeps going up. So if you've got it, you've got it. If you don't, it's not too late, because if it does go to $2 or $3 or even $1,000 an ounce, which, some predictors say it could go that high, there's no reason it shouldn't be. It's a precious metal. It's used more practically than any other metal out there. So why shouldn't it be the most expensive? In my eyes, it's extremely valuable and worthy of hanging on to. So do what you have to for yourself, but just a constant reminder, banks will fail. Banks have failed. Banks fail. This is my own personal bank, and this can be held in my hand, and this right here doesn't fail. So That's all I got to say for today. I'll be doing more videos. I'm going to keep up with it in the future, and I appreciate all my viewers. This Central Michigan Stacker. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'm out.